What day is it today? This is a necklace.
Check it, check it out.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video with your boy Idhan, and today we're going to be talking about
Ginger gammon snowflakes are outraged because black people are getting their own TV show.
Before we get into today's video, I'd just like to remind you to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and click the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this one. But before we get into the video, I just want to give a massive shout out to everybody who supported me on Patreon, and if you want to join those people, go check in the description box below. So today we're going to be talking about the laughable outrage shown by a couple of YouTube channels at the fact that the BBC have declared that they're going to be making an all BAME comedy TV show. Now the term BAME itself actually makes me feel more of a post than a chick who's just had to stand in front of the incoming president-elect Joe Biden. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a little look at a clip of Jim Davidson where he's talking about his daily routine and stuff he gets up to, and the fact that he's completely outraged at the fact that black people are getting their own TV show. Now we all know that Jim Davidson's got a more dodgy relationship with races than Lance Armstrong, but no one could say that he isn't consistent. So without further ado, let's check out a little clip of Jim Davidson talking his talk. Check it out.
So here's my normal routine. I'm going to have poached eggs on muffins in a minute, but no hollandaise sauce because someone said I'm going to get too fat. So here's what I do. Come down, get on the old computer. This is my routine now. We've got to have a routine. So let's go mail online. This is what I do online.
Well, of course, the first thing Jim Davidson does is go on Mail Online in the morning, innit? I mean, what other news outlet would man like Dim Jim be reading in the morning? Other than one which has been rated by the Independent Press Standards Organisation as the most unreliable news outlet for 4 years in a row, bruv. I mean, this guy likes his information more unreliable than the theory of relativity being explained via a game of Chinese whispers with 3,000 participants and the last one's death card.
Alex is now moaning about the BBC wanting to do a BAME-only comedy show, and he's right. The people that is racist.
Having a show with all black people, that's racist. Well, I'm sorry, Ginger Jim, but as a man who lives in a country where you can watch British TV for an entire day without seeing a single black person, I think one show with black lead characters in it isn't really addressing the balance of racial representation on TV, is it really? It's almost like you resent the fact that black people are getting any opportunities at all, isn't it, Jim? But nah, you wouldn't be doing that, would ya? That'd be racist.
So all these black guys that are going to go on there as comedians, they're going on there because they're not good enough to get into a comedy show without being black? Is that what the BBC are saying? How's that going to make them feel?
How have you confused the fact that the BBC are trying to address the balance of racial representation on TV with the fact that they're just giving jobs to people who aren't good enough? I mean, I know you appear to be going senile and all that, Jim. You need to calm down a bit, fam. You're making a bigger leap there than Evel Knievel with a firecracker up his backside, bruv. You're reaching more than a pickpocket on a socially distanced train, fam. But anyway, the guy who was talking about there is some guy called Alex Belfield who runs a crackpot right-wing YouTube channel where he's not racist at all, but he just talks about anything to do with black people in a negative and disparaging way. But he's definitely categorically not racist at all, yeah? Just clarifying that fact. It's just a coincidence that this guy gets outraged about anything to do with foreigners or black people. It's just a pure coincidence. But anyway, man like Alex has made a video talking about this so-called BAME comedy show which is soon to be on the BBC. So without further ado, let's get straight into a couple of clips of his video and address them. Check it out.
I'm going to take this steady. I am going to watch every word so that we don't get confused about what I'm saying. And I'm going to keep calm. Because this might be the most offensive story I've ever run about the BBC.
This is going to be the most offensive story you've ever run about the BBC. Well, I guess someone hasn't been investigating the BBC very thoroughly, have they? Especially for someone who likes to call themselves a quote-unquote journalist. Or maybe the fact that you're calling this the most offensive thing you've ever reported on the BBC is actually a nice little window into your psychology, mate. Because you find the fact that black people are getting a TV show more offensive than the fact that the BBC have been hiding for years. I'm not judging you or nothing, but a bit weird, innit?
So they're now doing a BAME comedy show where non-white people are only allowed to apply. You can now apply to go on the BAME comedy show. Black, Asian minority ethnics are welcome, but white English people, of which there are 85% in this country, are not allowed to partake.
So apparently there's this TV show where non-white people are only allowed to apply in that. So if you give that a little Google, like BAME comedy show, BAME show, BBC, etc., etc., you won't find any news about this anywhere. Now, at first I thought these lot might just be making it up to try and stir up some racial tensions and whatnot. But then after a bit more Googling, I discovered that in fact they're talking about a panel show which is soon to appear on Radio 4, which is like the pinnacle of the mainstream, innit, bruv? Oh my gosh, black people are taking up all the spaces on BBC Radio flipping 4, bruv. Get a grip, bruv.
How the can this possibly be legal, let alone ethical, by our fair and balanced BBC, whose only job is to represent us? It's offensive. It is offensive not only to us as white British people, of which there are 85% in this population.
It's offensive to us as white British people. Now, if you understand psychology, the fact that this guy has said it's offensive to us and then referred to his own demographic lets you know that this guy sees race and ethnicity as an us versus them kind of thing, because otherwise he wouldn't refer to white British people as us. But anyway, carry on incriminating yourself, because this is interesting, bruv.
But also to the 15% who are BAME. Basically, this is giving them a chance to be on air because they can't compete with white comedians.
How can one man get something so simple, so spectacularly wrong, bruv? They're not giving black people a chance to have their own show on the incredibly popular Radio 4 because they can't compete with white British comedians. They're doing it because black people are underrepresented in British media. And the only way to address that balance is to produce content which features people who are not white, because the vast majority of content in British media features only white people, especially in prominent roles. This is basic equality 101, fam.
Do you realise how racist you are by even putting this press release out? Do you realise how offensive it is to brilliant BAME comedians? I'm not talking about that fella on BGT who wanted to ram on about Black Lives Matter.
Nah, mate, stop trying to rope black people into your ridiculous theories about how it's racist to give black people an opportunity on TV or radio for once. The reason panel shows like this are so important is because for years we've had loads of black comedians in the British comedy circuit who haven't been given a chance. And finally, in this day and age, people are beginning to wake up, especially those in TV, as the executives are getting younger and more aware of the situation in the world and whatnot. Black people are finally being given a chance to represent themselves in the mainstream, and gammons like you jump on the internet moaning about it, fam, with your little fragile sensitivities and whatnot. When if you jump out the window on a hot day, you'll float a bit and then melt before you even hit the ground, fam. Snowflake!
Why don't you have a disabled comedy show? There's 20% of this population are disabled, yet you don't have a show for them, do you? Isn't it interesting?
Well, that's awkward, isn't it?
All right, let's go a step further. Why don't you have a comedy show for gingers with micro penis? 0.001% of this population is ginger with a micro penis, and I want my own show.
You know the ones where man busted a little joke and that, but you could see the pain in their eyes? Brother, it's okay. Now we understand why you're this angry about things that are so insignificant and that. I know that wasn't a euphemism about your little button mushroom, fam.
New figures published tonight in the Daily Mail confirm what I've been saying for months. I made a video 3 months ago that you can watch at the end of this video about BBC diversity. Basically, they were talking a load of bollocks. The population of BAME people, non-white people, is 12%. Their figures, their targets is 15%, and they beat them already. Yet, they want to pretend that there is not enough diversity at the BBC, even though they're over 3% greater than the population. Who knew? Why? I don't know.
Because, Alex Belfield, when you have underrepresentation, sometimes to address that balance and to normalise seeing black faces on TV, you have to put more than is in the population, because seeing black people on TV has been a bit of a novelty over the years, bruv. To normalise something, you can't only see it 15% of the time, you have to see it most of the time, then it becomes normal. So if you're only getting quote-unquote ethnic faces on TV for 15% of the time, that's still not enough to fix the problem, bruv. Especially when you consider the fact that the vast majority of this country live in places where they never even see a black face on road, let alone on their TV or hear their voices on the radio. Hopefully that clarifies it for you a little bit, seeing as you seem to be so confused, fam.
In fact, you could argue we need to start a white protest to get more white people on TV if you want to start being pedantic.
What a snowflake, fam! Go give your head a wobble, Alex, you flipping knobhead, about a white protest to see more white faces on TV, fam. You don't need to do that, bruv. At any given time, just switch the channel anytime you see a black face and you can pretty much guarantee that you'll turn over to a show that hasn't got any black faces in it, bruv. That's how little the representation is on TV. What a donut! But anyway, I guess that about does it for today. I just want to thank everyone who's been watching the video today, and if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and turn notifications on by clicking that notification notification bell to see more videos like this one. So yeah, once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. And